Welcome back. My final tipping point tonight, I'd like to revisit my question from earlier in the show and ask, how is it possible that we live in a world where we've seen photos, we've seen videos of Auschwitz, where our grandfathers fought against Nazis, millions of Jews were killed for the sin of being Jewish, and yet this is acceptable?
Israel can either be Jewish or democratic. It cannot be both.
It's worse than that, actually. Secretary of State John Kerry's comments have been justified by the left, explained away, moralized, humanized, turned into a philosophical political game where billionaire politicians like John Kerry have the audacity to lecture a nation that survives because they're constantly in emergency survival mode, surrounded by enemies on all sides who wish they were dead. For 70 minutes, Secretary of State John Kerry lied to us. It's not Israel who opposed a two-state solution, it's the Palestinians, because for them this isn't about territory. It's about wiping Israel off the face of the earth. The only two-state solution they'll agree to is their state reigning supreme and total annihilation for the state of Israel. But President Obama's administration is too cowardly to say so. Instead, we're told democracy and a Jewish state cannot exist together. Do you hear yourself? Let me ask you about this. What about a Muslim state, a caliphate and freedom? Are those two compatible? Well, where's your outcry about that? What about communism and liberty? Can they come hand in hand? Marxism and a free, vibrant people? No, I don't think those two are compatible, but I certainly don't hear you saying so. What have you said? Well, you've said through your actions that you don't support Israel, you prefer the gay-hating, woman-oppressing, Jew-killing terrorists who call themselves the Palestinian Authority. You've said through your actions, and let's go through a quick list here of the people President Obama and John Kerry have treated with more respect than Benjamin Netanyahu. Iran's President Rouhani, whose nation burned women in acid for not being properly veiled. Cuban dictator Fidel Castro, who sent his dissenters to concentration camps to be executed. The terrorists in Guantanamo Bay, who killed Americans and now have a more comfortable living than many inner-city Americans. The Clintons, whose dynasty cost millions of people food and water and medical aid. And now the Palestinian terrorists, whose only goal is to kill Jewish people in the most heinous way imaginable. It's a great legacy, President Obama. We should be shocked that this policy of moral bankruptcy can be accepted in a world that already experienced the poisonous fruits of anti-Semitism less than 100 years ago. Shame on the Democrats for choosing political revenge over what's right. I echo President-elect Donald J. Trump here. January 20th cannot come soon enough for me. And that's my final point tonight. You can reach me on Twitter at Liz_Wheeler. Also, if you liked the show, please send me an email at oann.com/contact. We'll see you tomorrow at 9 p.m. Eastern, and until then, have a good night.